It is a cold, rainy fall day in Chicago. It's just above freezing, so what should be snow is freezing cold rain. So here's the truck. I have some work to do, but for the truck, but not necessarily on the truck today. One thing that needs to be addressed is these valve stems. So Mercedes wheels, it's an unusual sized hole that they have on the rim itself for the valve stem. And when we were initially taking the wheels off, we pulled it and realized that it was, when we tried to replace it with a new one, it was super wide. The hole was super wide and just went right through. So there's a rim leak there right around the valve stem, and so that thing needs to be filled up like every other day. So I need to address that, but that's not a priority right now. Ideally, I'd like to get a set of Dots Dakar dark wheels for it, and then put some new tires on it. But the problem is Euro Truck Importers hasn't gotten back to me. I had them looking around, but I guess it's not a priority for them. They never responded back. So if anyone knows where I can order a set and have them sent to Chicago, please let me know in the comments below, or I don't know, send me, post a link at least. I'd really like to get a set of those, and then a new set of big mud terrains on there. But the 35s do look great on it, and once I put the fenders on and stuff like that, you'll have the complete look. So that needs to be addressed. But the more important thing that needs to be taken care of is I need to make room in this garage. So I ended up winning that 1984 300 SD. I paid a little bit more than I anticipated for it. I said I got it for $225. The seller didn't want to sell it for that price, so it went up a little bit. And then I had to pay for transport from Milwaukee here because I couldn't take the day off of work. So I ended up just having to get it picked up. So I have to pick it up now. The thing is, that car isn't registered. It's registered in Wisconsin, I believe. But so I need to do the paperwork to get that thing registered here. So in the meantime, while it's not registered, I have a couple days to keep it parked in this garage, just so the cops don't boot it or tow it or give me tickets. And that's the only concern I have. The thing is, today's Saturday, so the DMV is closed, so I can't even go get, I want to get a set of antique plates for it and just leave it on the street and not worry about it. But right now it's the DMV's closed, so I'll have to wait until Wednesday to go do that. So I got about 5 days before I can go get that done. So in the meantime, I have to make room for it here. We're going to try to get it to fit. This normally is a space for a BMW 330 Ci. So much smaller car. I don't know the exact dimensions, the difference between the two, but hopefully I can squeeze the sedan in here. I think I might be able to if I clear all this junk out of the way. So that's the plan for today. Get that done. Another thing that I need to work on is these rub rails, right? So Mercedes, like, some of them are still pretty decent, And my initial plan was, I have that entire gallon of black Monster Liner, and I wanted to Monster Line all the trim pieces, the black trim pieces on the car, on the G-wagon. I wanted to Monster Line all of them. The problem is now, I find out that Monster Liner does not adhere well to rubber. Alright, so it's not recommended. I don't want to experiment with it and coat it and then see, have problems with it peeling off. So what I plan to do, because some of them are good, but this is what's typical of these Mercedes 460 rub rails. So there's some slight little cracking inside, probably in here somewhere, and moisture got inside there and then decided to rot it from the inside out, which is the case with much of the truck. But this little steel strip in there gets rusted, and then it starts bubbling up and pulling, and then it starts penetrating there, and then you get tears. So I have to cut that little piece of metal out, and I'm just going to fill it in with a silicone, and then these will be okay to put back on the truck. Probably armor all them and make them look nice again. but I still do want to have a set with the black monster liner on them. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment as well, and because these things are, you know, incredibly expensive and for no real reason, but they are super expensive. So like this one, for example, the longest ones on the truck, they're like over $200 each. You know, so if you're looking over here, this is like almost $1,000 worth of just rubber, which is so stupid. But what I'm gonna do, I think, what I'm gonna try to do is create molds, or you know, complete replicas of these with fiberglass. So what I'll do is I'll take, you know, I'll cover them with plastic or something, you know, like saran wrap, and then put a little releasing agent on that, and then try to fiberglass with fiberglass fabric, you know, and resin, and just create a mold of the rubber rails, and then fill that probably in with expanding foam, and then fiberglass over the back of it, so I have complete you know, replicas of those, but out of fiberglass and foam rather than the rubber and steel. And the thing is, monster liner has no problems adhering to fiberglass. You know, it's weird. It can stick to concrete. It can stick to wood. It can stick to fiberglass, metal, but you know, plastic and rubber are always problems. So I don't want to have any problems. I'm going to try to do that, but at least I'll clean these up and I'll have, you know, an extra set, and then I can experiment with the fiberglass and have my set with the monster liner with that. And the same thing with the headlight surrounds, because they're made from the same exact crap. So instead of buying the new ABS plastic ones and then trying to do it with that, which I don't know if it would technically work, I rather experiment with the fiberglass. You know, I've become pretty comfortable with using fiberglass now because of this truck. So that's the plan. So I'll do that, but right now my priority is getting all this stuff moved out of the way and making room for that diesel donor. And also, if you have any information regarding how to swap a 230 G motor with the diesel 300 sedan motor, please let me know. It's a 1984, so that's what is that, the 617 motor. So please let me know. Okay, I'll have to, you know, check. I'll probably get the EPC and you know, check the differences and see exactly what I need. But if you could send me links, I've been trying to do some research. It's not too common for people to, right? I don't see too much of it, right? At least on the internet. So I'd really like to figure out exactly how to do it. I know I'm gonna have issues with the oil pan, just because the sedan motor one is a little bit longer and not as deep. So what I'm gonna have to do with that, I don't know. Maybe fabricate something, I don't know. So that's gonna be a completely entire challenge in itself. But right now my challenge is just getting rid of all this stuff and then going to pick up the car. Alright, so I picked the car up and I'm heading towards the Zombie Hunter, about 12 miles away. The car has no brakes, so it's super sketchy right now. I've been using my foot on the emergency brake and using that, and then the release over here to, you know, on the dash here to release it. But yeah, very, very sketchy. I am extremely nervous right now. So, you know, it's also snowing. So it shifted from rain to snow. It was like rain to sleet, and now it's snowing. So I don't know. It's you know, hopefully nothing happens and I make it back safely. But here's the interior of the car. There's me using my emergency brake to stop the car. This doesn't do anything. That's it. I mean, Interior is pretty nice actually. The seats seem, you know, pretty nice. There's a little bit of rust, you know, which is to be expected. It's such an old car. The diesel doesn't want to shut off. The motor doesn't want to shut off. You know, I went to go put in some diesel in it, and it was at the gas station, and it didn't want to turn off. So I tried using the emergency, popping the hood and hitting the emergency button, you know, the stop button on the engine, and that wasn't working. So I don't know what I'll do. We'll see once I get it back to get it back and parked. But hopefully, you know, right now all I have to worry about is making it safely home, because it is raining and it is very, very scary. Almost there. We're almost there. It's coming down harder now. Big chunks of snow. And I mean, it's driving pretty nicely, to be honest with you.
In a quarter of a mile,
aside from
turn left.
Aside from the fact that it doesn't have brakes, but it's driving pretty good. All right, so I got the car in the garage. It's temporarily because the Beamer over there needs to get in there as soon as possible, and you can see it's already snowing, and it's snowing pretty heavy. So that can't stay in there for too long. But here it is. So I stand corrected. It's not a SD. When I purchased it, when I was bidding on it, I thought it was the SD. You know, but I mean, it's a 300D turbo diesel. It's your standard worldwide taxi cab. But this one is in great condition. You know, it seems to have gotten a fender bender here, so the door isn't aligned properly, but the interior is pretty much mint. You know, for a car of this age to have such a nice interior, it's pretty remarkable. So what I plan on doing is, I mean, you know what, it drove pretty nice, aside from not having brakes. But you know, the turbo diesel kicked in and it was pretty peppy actually, comparatively to a standard diesel or even like the 230 that I have in there now in the G-wagon. So we'll see. It seems like it'll be a good transplant to put in the Zombie Hunter. So I plan on taking that steering wheel, taking all the buttons out of there, whatever I need to take. It has a little stereo, this radio here. I don't think that's original. I don't know what that is. But get that, take all the parts out, take the shifter and all that stuff. Maybe the seat belts, maybe the seats, I don't know. You know, everything's pretty nice inside it. So I can probably take it apart and sell out of it. And then obviously pull that 5-cylinder diesel out of there, and then the transmission. Now I just need to find a way to get that all pulled out. You know, I gotta get a hoist or something and pull that out and toss it into this truck.